Today I'm resetting the NFL back to 2015, a year which saw Cam Newton win MVP, Peyton Manning win a Super Bowl and walk off into the sunset, and saw stars emerge like Todd Gurley and Odell Beckham Jr. And of course, we have the Killer B trio of Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown, and Ben Roethlisberger on the Steelers as well. And I'm not kidding, we have the entirety of the 2015 NFL inside of Madden 26 right now, boys. Like the San Francisco 49ers having Navarro Bowman and Joe Staley. We have Calvin Johnson and Matthew Stafford back in the Lions. And we have the most exciting team of that season, of course, with the Carolina Panthers having 97 overall Cam Newton, 95 Luke Kuechly, and 90 overall Greg Olsen. And we can't forget about Josh Norman, who actually was a two-sport athlete this year, doubling as a boxer whenever he'd face off against Odell Beckham Jr. But restarting this season, we're going to see some interesting storylines take place. Because for one, we're not going to turn on injuries, and pre-existing injuries are going to be off as well. So anything can happen this season. Which brings up the question, do we still see the Broncos and Panthers face off in the Super Bowl? An unstoppable force against an unmovable object? Or do new teams take over this season and put themselves in the spotlight? And as an added bonus, if a new team wins the Super Bowl this year that didn't actually win it in 2015, the Denver Broncos, I'm going to be giving away one gift card for every 500 likes on this video to a subscriber in the comment section down below. So hit the like button, subscribe, notifications on, and be sure to turn on notice so you don't miss any of my future uploads. 1,000 likes in this video, and I'll go back 20 years to 2005 and see how the NFL plays out then. But we have a ton of insane players in the league at this time. We have 99 overall Gronk and Tom Brady. Antonio Brown is possibly the best wide receiver on earth at this time. Jason Peters is the best tackle in the league. Cam Newton, of course, who won MVP this season, was a 97 overall. Aaron Rodgers is a 97, although that picture of him still looks pretty ancient. Aaron Donald was young at this point in the league, having only 1 year of experience. JJ Watt is still in his prime. Khalil Mack is only in his second year in the league. Luke Kuechly, of course, is only in his fourth year in the league. And of course, this would be Calvin Johnson's final season in the NFL. But a new star is emerging at wide receiver with Odell Beckham Jr. going into his second year in the league at 93 overall. This is going to be a very interesting season, boys. And we also have a ton of interesting free agents with Sean Andrews, Lance Briggs, however you pronounce that, and however you pronounce that. And even Tony Gonzalez and Steven Jackson are free agents here. There is a lot of crazy players in the league right now. And we kick off in week 1 with the Carolina Panthers, who went 15-1 in this season in real life. We'll see if they can replicate the success they had that year, but one of the big things with having injury off means we have Kelvin Benjamin in this season. For those of you that don't remember, Kelvin Benjamin was actually a super promising young wide receiver for the Panthers, but before the 2015 season started, he tore his ACL, meaning Cam Newton won an MVP and scored 45 total touchdowns without his wide receiver one. Still, in my opinion, the best dual threat MVP season of all time. Cam Newton, we got PA crossers going. Kelvin Benjamin is wide open and he's gonna drop it. Maybe they were better off without him. We do have the speedster Ted Ginn on the squad as well, who's going to get wide open, and Cam Newton fires it to him and he picks up a first. Never mind, that's Philly Brown. There's so many random receivers on this team, forgive me. But of course, we got Fozzie Whitaker on the team as well, who's going to take it up the left side. We get a block from Ted Ginn and he's down inside of the 5. We've got to get a target for Greg Olsen, obviously one of the best tight ends in the NFL at the time, and he's going to be wide open for a touchdown. This team is going to be hard to stop, just like they were in real life. And of course, we got to use our Luke Kuechly on this offense. We almost get a sack there. We do pressure the QB. Blake Bortles goes down. We're going to send another blitz here with Luke Kuechly and just see if we can get some pressure on the quarterback. We got to break out of that, and we get a sack with Luke Kuechly. Let's go. The best middle linebacker in the league at the time. Which reminds me, I need to show you guys the top defensive players in the league at the time as well. But before that, the Panthers absolutely blow out the Jags 26-7. Will Cam Newton have another MVP season in this simulation? Some of the best defensive players in the league at this time, though, were Telvin Smith, who's a 99 overall here. As for the cornerback position, we had Patrick Peterson, Josh Norman, Vontae Davis, rest in peace, Darrelle Revis, of course, Jason Verrett, who was incredible but could never stay on the field, Richard Sherman, Aqib Talib, and of course, DRC, one of my favorite cornerbacks of all time. As for the free safety position, we have one of the best ever in Earl Thomas, and of course, Tyrann Mathieu is only in his 3rd year in at the time on the Cardinals. And as strong safety, you have guys like Rashad Jones, Morgan Burnett, TJ Ward, and Eric Berry, another one of my all-time favorite safeties, and Cam Chancellor. And as well, we have Charles Woodson, who would retire after the 2015 season with his final year on the Raiders. But we have to check in on the Giants, who have one of my favorite players of all time with Odell Beckham Jr., who looks like he might have a chance to go deep here, and he almost comes down with it. Odell is easily my favorite wide receiver of all time, top 5 player of all time for me, just a player that I absolutely loved watching every week back in the day, and he's going to be wide open and go into the end zone for a touchdown, something he was a threat to do at any time during any game back in his prime. But we can't forget about another Giants wide receiver who was on the team at the time, Victor Cruz, who gets open on the out route there. They were a very dangerous combo. And of course, they did have Eli Manning throwing to both of them. So we're just going to go with the check down here to Jennings, who's going to cut left and almost get a first. Eli Manning in the pocket. We got a tight end wide open, and he's going to go almost inside of the 10. Odell Beckham Jr. on the right side of the screen. We got to try and get him on a corner route. He's open. Odell, he catches it. Let's go. An incredible game from him so far. The Giants are looking like they could be a threat to contend against the Panthers in the NFC, but we'll see how the season goes on. Meanwhile, in Pittsburgh during week 1, we are against the Jets, and we have to try out the Killer Bee trio of Le'Veon Bell, Ben Roethlisberger, and of course, Antonio Brown. Got to check down to Le'Veon Bell. We're going to hit it. Obviously, this was an insane trio back in the day, and the fact they never at least contended for a Super Bowl together is still just crazy to me. As we're going to break a tackle, we almost break 2, and Le'Veon is cooking already. We're going to try to get a play specifically designed for AB here. He was a great jump baller. Can he go up for it? He does, and that's a first. We're going against a really good cornerback duo of Antonio Cromartie and Darrelle Revis. So we have a very big, tall task ahead of us here as we get Wheaton for the first down. The only person we need to target in the red zone is, of course, Antonio Brown. Let's see what he can do. He's got a touchdown. The Steelers put up 27 on the Jets to win week 1. And Ben had 3 touchdowns on 93 yards. I don't even know what to say about that. I don't even have a joke. And in Detroit, we have a superhero wide receiver ready to go off. Calvin Johnson sidelined first down instantly. In my opinion, the most dominant and crazy wide receiver of all time is Calvin Johnson, so we have to try and get him some deep balls going in the first quarter of this game. He's out there somewhere. Megatron, first down and a touchdown on the deep ball. But unfortunately, it's not enough as we're facing a prime Aaron Rodgers, and the Packers pick up the win 34-21. Tons of insane storylines this season. Let's simulate the midseason and see how everything's going for the whole league. As we can see by the standings, the NFL season is shaping up to be a very interesting one as the Panthers are 6-1, although in real life at this time they were 7-0. They didn't lose their first game of the season until like week 14 against the Falcons, if I remember correctly. And Julio Jones had one of the greatest touchdowns you'll ever see in that game. The Ravens are 5-1 in the first seed in the AFC. We have the Cardinals at 6-1, the Seahawks at 6-1, the Bills at 5-1. And the most interesting thing here is the Patriots are 3-4. Well, they were undefeated at this point in real life. And the worst teams in the league are the Commanders, Titans, and the 0-6 Vikings. Crazy, because they have Adrian Peterson and a young Xavier Rhodes as well, who was one of the best corners in the league at the time. The passing leaders halfway through the season are Andy Dalton, who has 2,126 yards and 13 touchdowns. The passing touchdown leader, though, is Alex Smith, who has 18 touchdowns and 1 pick. Meanwhile, the real-life MVP, Cam Newton, has 13 touchdowns and 2 picks. Rookie Marcus Mariota has 6 touchdowns and 7 picks. And Johnny Manziel is going off for the Browns with 15 touchdowns and 3 picks. The rushing leader so far throughout the season is Latavius Murray for the Raiders, 672 yards and 6 touchdowns. Le'Veon Bell isn't far behind him. We have Arian Foster up here as well. LeGarrette Blount for the Pats is doing great. CJ Anderson is doing good. And of course, one of my favorite running backs of all time, rookie Todd Gurley, has 446 yards and 2 touchdowns. As for receiving, Calvin Megatron Johnson is on pace for almost a 2,000-yard season with 780 yards halfway through the season and 5 touchdowns. But Keenan Allen is up here as well, as is AJ Green and T.Y. Hilton. And John Brown is cooking for the Cardinals, which is crazy. And one of the most disappointing draft busts of all time, Dorial Green Beckham, is up here as well. I wish we could have seen him play like this in real real life. If you remember Dorial Green Beckham, comment down below. Whether you played Mutt 16 or Madden Mobile 16, his superlative card was nuts. Meanwhile, Odell's having a decent season with 33 receptions for 443 yards and 5 touchdowns. The best offensive linemen in the league right now are Marquise Pouncey and Marshall Yonda, neither of which have given up a sack. And the worst by far is DeBrickashaw Ferguson. Shout out to my buddy Bruce. He loved DeBrickashaw Ferguson. I love you, pal. The tackle leader this year is Demario Davis for the Jets, who's still playing in the NFL today. The sack leader right now is Telvin Smith with 9.5 and Muhammad Wilkerson with 9. And the interception leader is Kerry Williams for the Seahawks, along with Justin Coleman for the Patriots. As for kick and punt return, Tavon Austin is the leader for punts. His highlight reel alone should lead him to the best punt return season of all time. As for the Player of the Week awards, Cam Newton and Derek Carr had offense for Week 7. Week 6, we saw Sam Bradford get one. Week 5, we have Kyle Orton, who's looking a little different in this picture. I'm not gonna lie, something's different. Week 4, we have Matt Ryan and Aaron Donald picking up 3 sacks. Week 3, we have Brock Osweiler for the Broncos, which is funny because he actually got some starts in real life because Peyton Manning got benched during the season. A lot of people don't remember that. Tony Romo as well for the Cowboys. Week 2, we have Tyrod Taylor for the Bills doing great, and Mike Daniels for the Packers. And of course, in Week 1, we have Eli Manning, who went off with Odell. The rest of the regular season, though, would be filled with some all-time performances by some legends and some younger players, leading to one of the greatest and most exciting seasons in NFL history. The passing leader on the season was Andy Dalton, who threw for 4,918 yards and 35 touchdowns with only 5 picks. But guys like Alex Smith were up here, so was Matthew Stafford. Phillip Rivers had 18 touchdowns and 17 picks. He said, screw it, Keenan Allen's out there somewhere every single play. Matt Ryan had a great season as well, and Johnny Manziel finishes the season with almost 4,000 passing yards, 23 touchdowns, and 8 picks. And Cam Newton had an eerily similar season to the one he did in real life, throwing for 3,671 yards, 34 touchdowns, and 5 picks. He had 35 passing touchdowns in real life, so that's crazy how close that was. The rushing leader this year was Le'Veon Bell with 1,612 yards and 20 rushing touchdowns. Behind him, though, were Latavius Murray, Eddie Lacy, my GOAT, Adrian Peterson, Doug Martin, rest in peace, one of my favorite running backs growing up, Marshawn Lynch, Matt Forte, and LaShawn McCoy. And then a forgotten running back from this season who also played well in the simulation was Chris Ivory, 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns. As for receiving, Calvin Johnson had one of the best seasons of all time, putting up 111 receptions for 1,702 yards and 8 touchdowns, continuing his reign of dominance as being the best wide receiver in the NFL and one of the best of all time. AJ Green wasn't far behind him, though, with 130 catches, 1,400 yards, and 8 touchdowns. And perhaps the two most shocking seasons I've seen on here, Jeremy Maclin with 1,400 yards and 19 touchdowns, and Mohamed Sanu with 1,396 yards and 18 touchdowns. We also saw some great seasons from Dez Bryant, Antonio Brown, Ted Ginn, Jarvis Landry, and Percy Harvin. Cameron Irving didn't let up a sack the entire season for the Browns, and Eric Flowers let up 22 on Eli Manning. Eli, I'm sorry, pal. And of course, DeBrickashaw Ferguson also let up 22. The tackle leader this year was Keenan Robinson with 177 tackles, with Luke Kuechly right behind him with 175 and 4.5 sacks. So far, that's my Defensive Player of the Year pick, but we'll see how the other stats play out. The sack leader was Malik Jackson with 18.5 sacks. It looks like the Broncos are just as good in the game as they were in real life this year. Muhammad Wilkerson had 18, and Aaron Donald's reign begins here with 17.5 sacks. Vontae Davis, rest in peace, of course, led the league with 6 interceptions, along with Derek Johnson and Bobby Wagner. All great seasons from each of them. Not a single kick or punt return touchdown this year, but Chris Davis was the best punt returner, right up there with Antonio Brown. We did see some great weekly awards, though, with Andrew Luck getting 4 passing touchdowns. In Week 18, we had Marcus Mariota get a Player of the Week award. Ryan Mallett got one for the Texans. Rest in peace to him as well. Nick Foles had a great week in 15, and so did Luke Kuechly with 12 tackles and 2 picks. We see Blake Bortles get one, and we see the wrong Brandon Marshall get one for defense. Nice job, whoever made this roster. In Week 13, we see Aaron Rodgers get an award and Jimmy Smith for the Ravens. In Week 12, Jameis Winston has a great game, putting up 5 passing touchdowns, and Le'Veon Bell gets 2 rushing touchdowns and a receiving touchdown. In Week 11, we see Luke Kuechly get another Player of the Week award, and Cam Newton puts up 255 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, and another 50 rushing yards. Adrian Peterson in Week 10 puts up 150 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. In Week 9, 9, we see Jimmy Smith get another Defensive Player of the Week award with 2 interceptions. And in week 8, we see Vontae Davis gets 2 interceptions, while Luke Kuechly gets 15 tackles. And the offense was crazy this week as well, where Tyrod Taylor got 5 total touchdowns, and Ted Ginn had 3 receiving touchdowns from Cam Newton. We won't see the NFL honors winners until right before the Super Bowl, but let's look at the playoff bracket. The Buffalo Bills are the #1 seed for the AFC, and the Seahawks are the #1 seed for the NFC. And this is actually pretty close to how the playoffs were in real life, considering all the teams in it on the NFC side. The AFC side is a little bit different, but still pretty close. And we're going to kick it off with the Carolina Panthers visiting the Green Bay Packers, where we currently have a super close game between both of these teams, but it looks like the Packers might start pulling away as they have an 8-point lead. The Panthers do tie it up though, and when they get a stop, they go downfield, and the Panthers are going to win this game 20-17. They might have a run at the Super Bowl, especially with the Broncos missing the playoffs on the AFC side. Moving on to the divisional round, we have the Bills hosting the Patriots, the Steelers hosting the Chiefs, the Seahawks hosting the Panthers, and the Falcons hosting the Cardinals. We actually have a chance here to see the real-life NFC Championship game from that year, where the Panthers played the Cardinals. We'll see. We are going to follow the Panthers through the playoffs, though, because I want to see how close things are to real life. Now, in real life, the Panthers beat the Seahawks in the divisional round by a decent margin, but right now they are down 14-0 as this Legion of Boom defense looks like it may seal the deal and take away this Panthers Cinderella run as a wild card team. And that's exactly what's going to happen as the Seahawks beat the Panthers 31-6. Could the Seahawks be heading to their 3rd straight Super Bowl? It seems very possible. Meanwhile, we have a Snow Bowl game between the Patriots and the Bills. And by Snow Bowl, I mean full-blown blizzard. In real life, the Patriots advanced the AFC Championship game and then lost to the Denver Broncos with seconds remaining in the game. And as of right now, the Bills are taking it to my Patriots, and it looks like they might end up winning. The Patriots had a shot at the end, but the Bills advanced the AFC Championship game with Tyrod Taylor at QB. Tom Brady's going to have to wait to win a Super Bowl another year. I know, he only has 4 at this point in real life. And our championship games are set. The Seahawks are hosting the Arizona Cardinals in the NFC, and the Bills are hosting the Steelers in the AFC. Could we see the Killer Bees trio of Le'Veon, Antonio, and Ben Roethlisberger finally make it to a Super Bowl? And could the Seahawks be going to their 3rd straight Super Bowl in this simulation? We're going to start off with the AFC Championship game, where we have a slugfest right now between the Steelers and the Buffalo Bills, but the Steelers are going to take a 10-2 lead before the end of the first half. This is a low-scoring affair right now as the Bills tie it up and then take the lead, and the Bills are going to advance to the Super Bowl. Oh my goodness. This looked impossible at the beginning of the game. The Killer Bees trio is not going to go to the Super Bowl once again. Heartbreak for Steelers fans. But who will the 1-seed Bills be facing in the Super Bowl from the NFC side? Huge storyline here is the Cardinals are trying to get to their 1st Super Bowl victory, and the Seahawks are trying to start a dynasty coming back from the Malcolm Butler interception from the previous Super Bowl. We have a tie game in the 4th quarter, though. The Seahawks are going to take the lead, and they're going to win, going to their 3rd straight Super Bowl. The Cardinals, just like in real life, lose the NFC Championship game heading into the 2016 Super Bowl. As for your NFL Honors Awards, Andy Dalton wins the MVP over Cam Newton, who was in 2nd place in the simulation, but of course won it in real life. Meanwhile, the Coach of the Year is Liam Cohen for the Jags. The coaches weren't fixed in this, just everybody else. So pretend this is whoever the Jags had at the time. I don't even remember. Your Offensive Player of the Year was Le'Veon Bell. Defensive Player of the Year was Luke Kuechly. Offensive Rookie of the Year was Jameis Winston. And Defensive Rookie of the Year was Danielle Hunter for the Vikings. And now we have a Super Bowl for the ages. The Buffalo Bills looking for their 1st Super Bowl victory, and the Seahawks looking for their 2nd in 3 years, trying to bounce back from the Patriots' loss last year. The Bills get the first score on the board, up 7-0, 10-0. The Seahawks can't do anything to stop this. Where is the Legion of Boom when you need them? And the Buffalo Bills will defeat the Seahawks, back-to-back Super Bowl losses, and the Bills win their 1st Super Bowl in franchise history after going 0-4 all in a row in the 90s. LaShawn McCoy gets a ring, Tyrod Taylor gets a ring, with Ronald Darby, the rookie cornerback, winning Super Bowl MVP. This is a huge story for the NFL. The Seahawks dynasty goes down before it even starts. and the stories are going to begin to flood the internet that Russell Wilson did not do enough in this game with 0 touchdowns, 81 yards, and a 47.8% completion percentage. But if you guys enjoyed this video, watch this one right here. It's another banger. I promise you guys will enjoy. Tell somebody you love them today. Have a great day, boys. Peace. Love ya.